What makes you instantly lose respect for someone? I remember watching some video a maybe 20-year-old girl posted where she secretly recorded an older woman changing clothes in a gym locker room and made fun of her, saying stuff like "nobody wants to see that," made my blood boil. Fortunately, the vast majority of the comments she got were condemning her for being a horrible person who was flagrantly violating an innocent woman's privacy. I started running because I was too self-conscious to go to the gym, and I thought running outside would be better since there's no one with you. The amount of people who yelled stuff out of their cars was insane. I had a few times where people yelled about me being fat out the window. Only made me run harder though. People suck. Edit. Thank you for all the nice replies everyone. Not gonna let anyone stop me from running. Basically everyone I've ever met in my life right there. I guess the people are just shitty where I live. I become jaded and basically don't help anyone anymore. Even though I'm the kind of person who easily wants to help someone in need, my attitude has become "it's not my problem," as I've been trained to basically just let others flounder on their own. This kind of thing makes my blood boil. I live in the countryside but the road is littered with empty bottles. Packaging because people are such lazy, inconsiderate fucks that they can't even wait till they get home. Next time someone throws an empty McDonald's wrapper out of their car, I'm shoving it right back through their window. Littering fines in Asian countries like Singapore can range up to $1,000 for the first offense, and I'm inclined to agree. People won't stop until there's steeper punishments. My ex used to do this. He would brag and almost seem proud of the illegal shit he did. Drugs, many arrests, the fact that he was the cool drug-dealing student in high school and didn't care about learning. He had a story about drinking and driving as well, laughing about it. Even hitting his mom he justified and was proud of it. He would laugh like it's funny and badass or some shit. I wouldn't laugh and I would tell him those aren't things to be proud of and he'd get so defensive. Lol. Asshole. People who aren't gracious with others. It's fine to tease your good friends, but don't make fun of people for silly mistakes if you don't know them. Not everything needs a little comment or sarcastic retort. Someone trip or misspeak and they seem embarrassed about it. Be gracious, don't rub it in their face and make them feel stupid. We're all just trying our best out here. My so has an ex that put their child into a mental health facility in an attempt to show that she was causing mental distress, fabricated evidence to try and show sexual abuse, lied to get a restraining order and used an emergency court order dismissed after 10 minutes before a judge among other things. Needless to say he is a garbage human. Few years later and we have balanced out, but yeah, that was a rough one. I read a fantastic quote that beautifully summarized how I've been conditioned to hate the whole concept of respect. It said something to the effect of some people use the word respect in the context of treating someone like an authority, while other times it simply refers to respecting them as a person. So when someone says if you won't respect me then I won't respect you, what they often mean is if you won't respect me as an authority, I won't respect you as a person. They think they're being fair, but they really aren't. When I first read that quote, I immediately thought back to all the times my father demanded my respect while telling me I had to earn his respect. It doesn't work like that. Displaying an obvious lack of respect for others. That is driving like a jerk, doing nothing to calm your screaming child, leaving your shopping cart instead of putting it somewhere safe, blocking aisles/lanes/walkways with your shopping cart, or because your conversation is more important than people needing to go about their day, texting at an intersection, red light and then giving the finger when people honk and startle you, talking loudly at the movies, being annoyed that I showed up at your workplace and made you have to do your job, so you're rude to me. The list goes on, and on. For that last one, as a cashier, I promise that sometimes we're not really annoyed at you, we may just be reacting to something else. Sometimes we've just been yelled at by a customer or manager, or maybe we've been forced to work while sick or while dealing with other life issues. I try my best to always be friendly towards all customers, but we don't really get time to process stuff like that, and it sometimes shines through. Although sometimes they are just an asshole. Definitely had some coworkers that were just assholes. Just to chime in defense of parents not calming a screaming child, it may not always be as neglectful as it appears. I had this conversation recently in some other post, but sometimes, depending on the age of the child, the best thing you as a parent can do to end the tantrum as soon as possible is ignore it. Toddlers are still learning to manage their emotions, and when they're in that tantrum headspace, they literally can't process words and direction the way they normally can. Sometimes redirection works, but often it just prolongs the tantrum. Yelling and threats definitely prolong the tantrum. Those tantrums have a certain momentum behind them and they just can't simply stop on a dime. Sometimes the fastest way to end a tantrum is to validate their emotions and then just let it run its course. Now, if I'm in a public space and my kid is melting down, I will take them away and out of earshot just for consideration of others. But there are times when I just can't do that. Like if we're on the bus or the train, for example. I just would hate to be judged as a neglectful parent in such a situation, when what I'm actually doing is making a conscious decision to ignore it, which I know will lead to the tantrum ending sooner than if I tried to convince my kid to stop. Plus it actively works against their own interest. I work front desk at a hotel, restaurant. Generally, someone who is being a jerk to our employees is getting bare minimum to not get fired service. Someone who is being nice and respectful to me and my coworkers is getting as much as I can get away with giving you without getting fired level service. There are a lot of people out there who see the service industry as their way of feeling rich for a few minutes. They genuinely get off on having someone cater to their every need. It's not enough to be served fast food. They have to be served fast food with a smile while someone tells them they're a big special smart boy. I used to not really pay attention much when someone did this. Lately it has begun to really get on my nerves. I don't know if it was the pandemic or having people point out what a dickhead move it really is. Very rarely have I run across a service worker that deserves to be treated badly, and watching people do it now just puts me off of them instantly. Yes, I've messed with a few of these. They say they are against tax, and I'll say something like, "Really? That's an interesting subject. What part of X disturbs you the most?" And then I get the deer in the headlights look from them as they try to remember what their sister's ex-male previous boyfriend's uncle said about it. It's not a crime to not know something, but it's a bit stupid, lazy to speak against that thing you don't understand. And when you move on to actively opposing people, organizations based on almost perfect ignorance, then you've moved into crazy territory. As a disability support worker, I can agree with this, but there have been times where I've been out with my client who has Down syndrome and they've been called a retard while just out in the community walking down the street by people driving by. I mean, people are free to think whatever they want, but saying shit like that out loud as we walk by is a totally different thing, and it's pretty sickening, IMO. There's more to this though. We have many science deniers in the US. How can you have an opinion on a fact? Can I have an opinion that the sun is cold? I believe the sun is just a floating ice cube in the sky. You have to respect my opinion. See how dumb I sound? It's more so we have begun accepting too many opinions, specifically on well-rounded facts, that has led some people to get extremely angry over it. Joining an MLM. It shows how little reasoning people have. There are better ways to work part-time, on your own hours, than by joining a scam that bleeds you of money and sells you junk. If the product was that good, it would be sold in stores without having to sell it for commissions. Also, if you really wanted to get into sales and make your own business off of sales, you'd have better luck just buying stuff wholesale and selling it to people at a small markup. This method also has the advantage of being able to sell people whatever they ask for as long as you can get a hold of the wholesale market, instead of just scented oils, or crappy diet shakes, that no one wants. I have a coworker who can really go off about how immature her boyfriend is, how she doesn't want to ever move in with him, how selfish she thinks he is, make fun of him for that one time 2 years ago when he didn't have a job, even said something about lack of satisfaction in bed. She does this to people her rank and even managers. Then it stops, and she brings the boyfriend to events. We hang out with him. He's actually kinda nice. Maybe some of her complaints are true, but so what? If she really doesn't like it, she should leave him. It's awkward to hear all of that and then socialize with the guy, and I get along with him pretty well. She's done this several times over 2 years, too. Wild. I don't like to start drama, but if I had a death wish I'd go tell him about it. I hate those kind of people. I hate stink bugs, but even they get escorted out of the house. Same goes for any other insect. In my old house, my room was covered completely with posters plus lots of weird stuff, so both my dad plus my BF at the time would show my room to people that hadn't seen it before. I had a pet tarantula, still do, plus my BF's friend comes in to check out my room, sees the tarantula in his cage, then felt the need to inform me that if I get anywhere near him with my spider he'll smash him. I was so confused, like, why would I do that? I know he's afraid of spiders. Also, I wouldn't endanger my beloved pet in such a way. I don't understand people with the mindset of it's just a bug. People who treat their kids badly. I'm a teacher that works with low-income families, so I see a lot of families that are struggling to make ends meet, and so sometimes their kids don't have snow boots when they really should. I'm not talking about those people. Hell, they gladly take the snow boots when we offer them to them because they want what's best for their child. No, I'm talking about the people who just don't seem to care and treat their children like crap or put their needs above their child's. It's disgusting and heartbreaking, and the fastest way to make me hate you. When someone believes their experience is the center of the universe and what everything is judged by. Don't like that music? Everyone who does is an idiot. Suck at skateboarding. Skateboards are trash. People like that just shit on everything and love to argue with people and will even contradict themselves just to have a reason to argue and bully people. I see it more than I'd like to. Mine is when people talk down on others for things they can't change, like saying sexist or racist crap or mocking people for having disabilities and such. Sometimes this crap only comes out when people are relaxing and not in work or more public situations. It's like they are a closeted bigot. It sucks when you invite a coworker over and suddenly they're a racist ass and you're just like WTF. Cheaters. Never understood that. I mean, I get it. You are in a relationship that you're not happy in, but why hurt the other person so bad? It fucks with their self-esteem and self-image. They will have a hard time trusting their gut. BC they thought they could trust you obliviously. Again, just talk it out and get it over with. Your inability to be alone for a while shouldn't justify you scarring someone else with your betrayal. Own your feelings and needs and talk. No need to hurt someone. People who smoke in their house and their car, exposing their children to secondhand smoke. Knowing that lung cancer kills so many Americans because of smoking and secondhand smoking, it's horrifying to see. Children who do not choose to smoke or be exposed to smoke are literally being killed slowly. I have zero respect for those adults. This has been echoed already. But if they can't treat disabled people as people, obviously I can't speak for the current climate. But when I was in high school and college, I saw a lot of classmates push the "I'm not ableist, I respect all people" idea. These same people would then pick on and bully autistic kids who were not out as autistic, just somewhat noticeably different. I hate that the kids in my past were only willing to give the benefit of the doubt to those already widely diagnosed as autistic. There are plenty of young individuals who don't have a diagnosis, and whether or not they visited a doctor shouldn't be the metric for whether they get treated as a peer. Gossiping about people behind their back, and being nice to their face. A chick at work would do this about like everyone, and I didn't like that she talked shit about them to me. I don't have a problem with anyone and don't even want to hear her toxic opinions about people. Also, she'd try to act like my friend, but I didn't trust her because she probably talked shit about me too. shows gender inequality over someone and being one-sided. Like, we all are humans and no one is above the other. If you get criticized by your wrongdoings, don't emphasize that you are a female because of what the F your reason is. Also, don't just say, "Oh, that guy got slapped, he deserved it," without knowing the whole story. Would they mind trying getting slapped because your girl don't get what she want and hearing the words "you deserved it" without even knowing the whole story? People who look down on those who have or make less money. I remember a classmate in drama school who grew up rich, never worked a day in her life and turned down even looking at a dude because he worked at a food stand and was saw not her level of income. Bitch, you don't work, you don't have income. Also, why does that devalue him as a human? We made money up. If having more makes you better, then losing what you have means you as a person are worthless yourself. Yeah? Let me burn down your house real quick. Maybe then you'll appreciate the fact that people are inherently invaluable simply because of who and what they are. Goddamn it, materialism is cancer. I think people have a problem with the poor because of stigmas about crime, gal, and drugs. Still no excuse to not have compassion, especially coming from a rich person, a member of a class known to exploit the poor and middle class, and do shady things with their money. Unfortunately, I feel like shit if I don't have gaming consoles and new electronics. I feel like shit because I have outdated laptop that can't be unplugged without shutting down. The thing is old, but it used to hold a charge. People who think all illegal immigrants to the U.S. need to be deported. I agree that some people commit crimes and should be sent back to their home country, but others came to the U.S. since they were very young and don't know anything about where they were born. Others also work very hard, pay taxes, are improving the country in many different ways. People who literally blind themselves and believe that there is no purpose for people running away from violence and poverty to be in our country always leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And before anyone says come here legally, my dad was only able to bring my family over legally because he was a teacher and Texas was looking for more teachers. He came here on a work visa, and it took thousands upon thousands every year to help us be here legally. I came here at the age of 7, and I only just became a citizen at 24 last October. All that time and money is not feasible for everyone, so get out of here with that. Being rude to the people serving you. Waiters, bellboys, taxi drivers, customer service representatives, etc. For starters, it's just poor strategy on your part. They'll find a way to get you back, spit in your food, put you on hold, make sure your issue doesn't get fully resolved, etc. Second, you can't assume you're better than them. Your taxi driver might be a surgeon back in Iraq, your waiter might be a world-changing entrepreneur, the lady on this phone is a single mom fighting every day to a special needs kid. Be nice. Dropping casual racism/sexism/xenophobia on the phone to me, a complete stranger. Just because my voice sounds like it belongs to a white man whose first language is English does not mean you and I are the same. Have some shame and save your bigotry for your friends, who might think your jokes are funny ... or better yet might be able to set you straight. For clarity, my job is sort of a call center. I don't want to hear about how the last person you talked to sounded like they were, race, and probably from, country, and they were totally unhelpful. I like most of my coworkers, and if you immediately associate your judgment of their job performance with their race or nationality or gender or primary language, I'm just gonna go ahead and assume you were the problem the whole time. Judging someone due to their occupation. It doesn't matter to me what a person does for a living. A job is just for you to put food on the table, roof over your head and clothes on your back. Those are the three main reasons why we have jobs. I understand everyone's life is different. One may not be as privileged as the other. Not everyone has the opportunity to have a high-paying job. I respect people based on their personality and how they treat others. I did have a friend who was very judgmental towards prostitutes, but I'm glad I could change his mind and he stopped judging them. We are all humans and we need to do what we can to survive. Be good to everyone, respect everyone and be thankful for their services.